Before we commence, let me take a moment to express our gratitude to the organizing committee for their relentless effort in bringing this conference to fruition. Their dedication and meticulous planning have paved the way for this remarkable gathering of minds. I would also like to extend our heartfelt appreciation to our keynote speakers, presenters, and participants who has contributed to making Icesre 2024 a reality. Your passion for advancing education and driving meaningful change is truly commendable. Now, let's pay tribute to the countries that bring us together. Please remain seated as we honor our respective nation with the national anthems of Indonesia and March of Greece. Thank you for that inspiring rendition of the national anthem. Distinguished guests, scholars, and educators, now I invite Associate Professor Dr. Wiyaka, the Chief of the Institute of Research and Community Service Universitas PGRI Semarang, to deliver the welcoming speech. Bapak Dr. Wiyaka, please welcome, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Bu Agnita. Is my voice audible?
Yes, clear enough, Bapak.
Okay. Good morning, distinguished guests, presenters, participants, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great pleasure to welcome you all to this international conference. We are honored to have such a diverse and talented group of individuals gathered here today to share knowledge, experiences, and insights on this important forum. The International Conference on Education and Social Science Research, Icesre for short, is held annually and organized by Institute of Research and Community Service, Universitas PGRI Semarang. This year, Icesre 2024 is held virtually, primarily addressing the theme incorporating digital technology in social science and education 5.0 for Sustainable Development Goals. This is the forum for which scholars, researchers from different parts of the country and worldwide share their experiences, practices, and expertise in the fields of education and social sciences. Novelty in research is a necessity in addressing the increasingly complex challenges of our time. It involves exploring new ideas, methods, approaches, and to find innovative solutions to problems that were previously unsolvable or unaddressed. Sometimes this requires us to think outside the box and challenge conventional theories. By embracing novelty in research, we can drive progress and improve our understanding of the world around us, ultimately leading to a better future for all. This year's conference is attended by 82 participants. 65 papers will be presented and disseminated. We are thankful to the 4 invited speakers: Dr. Token Yaksal, Open University, the United Kingdom; Profesor Dr. Ahmad Bukhari, Universitas PGRI Semarang, Indonesia; Associate Professor Ethel Ong from De La Salle University, Manila, Philippines; and Professor Dr. Rahul Bandari from Tyndall Global University, India. Thank you very much for sharing and spending your time in this conference. We look forward to getting new ideas and experiences from the speakers. We hope that participants are engaged with the discussion so that the conference benefits everyone involved. The most specifically, on behalf of the committee, I would like to express our gratitude to Rector, Vice Rector, and Deans in Universitas PGRI Semarang for their support in organizing this conference. Please kindly, Bu Rector, to officially open the 2024 Icesre Conference. To all participants, enjoy the conference and make the most of this opportunity to learn and grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Bapak Dr. Wiyaka, for those inspiring words. We are now pleased to present a special video message from our esteemed Rector, Associate Professor Dr. Sri Suciati M. Home.
A great honor and privilege to welcome you all to the 7th International Conference on Education and Social Science Research, Icesre 2024. On behalf of Universitas PGRI Semarang, I extend my warmest greetings to all of you who have gathered here virtually from across the globe to participate in this esteemed event. This year's theme, Incorporating Digital Technology in Social Science and Education 5.0 for Sustainable Development Goals, captures the essence of the current global movement toward a digital transformation. The integration of advanced technology into education and social sciences has never been more critical. We are at a pivotal point where education and research must evolve to meet the challenges of our interconnected world, and this conference provides a vital platform to explore these innovations. Icesre 2024 seeks to highlight the power of digital technologies to shape the future of education and social sciences. From enhancing learning experiences to revolutionizing research methodologies, digital tools open new doors for creativity, inclusivity, and global collaboration. We are confident that this conference will serve as a valuable opportunity for academics, researchers, and professionals to engage in thoughtful dialogue, exchange insights, and foster meaningful partnerships. Together, we will explore how digitalization can support the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs), especially in promoting equitable and inclusive quality education. The role of education in shaping the future is undeniable. As educators, it is our duty to prepare future generations not only with knowledge, but also with the digital skills necessary to thrive in the 21st century. Education 5.0, which is central to this conference, reflects a new paradigm and integrates technology and emphasizes critical thinking, creativity, and collaboration. It also encourages personalized learning paths that cater to the diverse needs of students, a vital aspect in ensuring equality and access to quality education. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished keynote speakers, Dr. Dogan Yüksel from the Open University in United Kingdom, Professor Ahmad Bukhari from Universitas PGRI Semarang, Associate Professor Ethel Ong from La Salle University in the Philippines, and Dr. Rahul Bandari from Jindal Global University in India. Your expertise and contributions will undoubtedly enrich our discussions and inspire further exploration of the intersection between technology, education, and social sciences. Additionally, I want to thank the organizing committee for their tireless efforts in bringing this event to life. Organizing an international conference in a virtual format requires dedication and meticulous planning, and I'm proud of the team's outstanding work. Finally, I encourage all of you to take full advantage of this conference. Engage with your fellow participants, exchange ideas, and share your research. The world is watching how we as educators and researchers adapt to the digital revolution and use it to solve the pressing challenges of our time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibu Dr. Sri Suciati, for the insightful message and the continued support for our conference. Distinguished guests, scholars, and educators, ladies and gentlemen, now we are at the end of the opening session. Let's capture this memorable occasion with a group of photos. Please get ready and open your camera on the count of 3. Let's smile for the camera. 1, 2, 3, smile. For the next slide. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your gracing this occasion with your presence. Without further ado, let us begin the plenary session with our distinguished keynote speakers that filled with motivation, collaboration, and transformative ideas. The first plenary session will be moderated by Associate Professor Dr. Mega Novita, and the second plenary session will be moderated by Assistant Professor Desi Maulia. The time is yours. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Mega and to the virtual stage. Please welcome Ibu Mega.
All right, thank you very much, Ibu Agnita. Am I audible to you all? Good morning,
Yes.
colleagues and students, distinguished speakers and participants. Welcome to the 7th International Conference on Education and Social Science Research, Icesre 7, organized by Lembaga Penelitian dan Pengabdian kepada Masyarakat, LPPM, Universitas PGRI Semarang. It is an honor to be with you today at this annual conference, which has now reached its 7th consecutive year. Icesre has consistently served as a platform to bring together scholars, researchers, and professionals from around the globe to discuss key advancements in education and social sciences. This year, we are proud to present the theme Incorporating Digital Technology in Social Science and Education 5.0 for Sustainable Development Goals. Through this theme, we aim to explore how cutting-edge technologies can transform education and social science fields to further advance the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. To give you a quick overview of today's program, the conference is divided into 2 plenary sessions. I, Mega Novita PhD, will be moderating the first plenary session where we have the pleasure of hearing from 2 distinguished keynote speakers. They are Dr. Rahul Bandari from Jindal Global University, India, and Professor Ahmad Bukhari from Universitas PGRI Semarang, Indonesia. After this session, the second plenary session will be moderated by my colleague, Dr. Desi Maulina, where we will hear from Associate Professor Ethel Ong from De La Salle University, Philippines, and Dr. Dogan Yüksel from the Open University, United Kingdom. Following the plenary sessions, we will have proceed with parallel sessions where presenters will share their research findings in greater detail. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the tremendous success of the past 6 Icesre conferences. Over the years, many of the papers presented have been published in prestigious proceedings, including the first Icesre 2018 at Atlantis Press, second Icesre 2019 at Atlantis Press also, third Icesre 2020 in SSRN, fourth Icesre 2021 in KNE Publishing, following with 5th and 6th Icesre conferences. These publications have not only elevated the visibility of the conference, but also contributed significantly to the global discourse in education and social science research. We are excited to continue this tradition of excellence with the work that we'll present today. Now, without further ado, let us begin the first plenary session. Our first speaker for this session is Dr. Rahul Bandari from Jindal Global University, India. Allow me to briefly introduce Dr. Bandari. Please share the screen. Assistant Professor Dr. Rahul Brandari is a distinguished academic leader and thought pioneer, currently serving as the Joint Director and Head of International Institution Advancement and Strategic Global Engagement (ESGE) at OP Jindal Global University, India. His career is defined by an unwavering commitment to advancing higher education and addressing critical global challenges through innovative research and policy analysis. Dr. Bandari earned his doctoral degree in social and political science from Erlangga University, Indonesia, where his research has focused on the complexities of policy formation in higher education, explored through the lenses of neoliberalism and stakeholder perspective. His scholarly work has significantly shaped the discourse on how globalization and market forces are reshaping educational landscapes, offering nuances, insights into the evolving dynamics of contemporary academia. So, without further ado, his presentation is titled India's Integration of Digital Technology in Social Science and Education 5.0, a Pathway to Achieving the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs). Dr. Bandari will discuss India's approach to integrating digital technology in education and social sciences and how this can contribute to achieving the SDGs. Without further ado, I'm honored to invite Dr. Rahul Bandari to deliver his keynote presentation. Please.
Thank you very much, Bhumega. Am I audible?
Yes.
All right. Please allow me to share my screen. All right. Is my screen visible to all?
Yes.
Dr. Rahul, are you there? Team IT, would you please check, is Dr. Rahul available? Okay. I think Dr. Rahul is disconnected from the internet, so I would like to wait for some times, or if he's not with us for like 1 or 2 minutes. So we will follow with second speakers, Professor Ahmad Bukhari. Okay, you're ready with us. All right. Wait a moment. Okay, Dr. Rahul is not with us, right? All right. Okay, sorry for the inconvenience, everyone. So we will follow up with the second speaker first. Would you mind, Professor Bukhari?
Okay, Miss
And
Mika, how are you
our second speaker
today?
in this plenary session is Professor Ahmad Bukhari from Universitas PGRI Semarang, Indonesia, our really good friends. Let me take a moment to introduce Professor Bukhari.
Okay, Dr. Mega.
So please share the screen. Professor Dr. Ahmad Bukhari is a
Yes,
distinguished academic serving as the Secretary of the Master of Basic Education Program at Universitas PGRI Semarang for the 2023-2027 term. He was the head of the Business Incubator Center and Journal Development Center at LPPM Universitas PGRI Semarang from 2016 to 2023. He's actively involved in additional roles, including being a member of the PAK team at LL Dikti Region 6, Central Java since 2019. A national research reviewer for the RTPM since 2017, and a reviewer for research and community service projects at Universitas PGRI Semarang. I think Dr. Rahul already here with us. Let me check on him. Dr. Rahul?
Hi, thank you, Bhumika. I'm
Okay.
so sorry. I'm out of country, so my internet
Oh,
is not.
yes. Anyway, thank you so much for making time for us. It's an honor for us. Professor Bukhari, please, I think you don't mind if we follow back with
okay,
Dr. Rahul
Dr.
first.
Mega.
Okay? Stop the screen, please. All
Please
right.
allow me
Back
to
to-
share my screen. And apologies for
Okay.
the things.
Okay.
Just give me
Please,
one.
IT team, help him to share the screen because I think his screen is... Okay, you share your own?
I share by my own.
Okay. Please.
Is it my screen visible?
Your screen visible, but it appears for 2 slides. So would you please to do full screen? It has comments on it.
Okay, just 1 minute. Will it be okay right now?
Yes, now it's okay. All good,
right.
please.
So, very good morning. Selamat pagi to Indonesia and namaste from India. Accept the greetings from 1.4 billion people of India. I congratulate UpGRIS for organizing such a wonderful conference, which is a need of a time. I would justify the word of need of a time because in recent time, I participate one conference on AI in higher education in China. And I was surprised that in that conference, there is only, I was the only one who's participating in the social science side. And most of the people are from technology based. So the integration of digital, I think it's very important when we incorporate social science as well as the technological part before talking about their benefits and loss. And that's make this conference very important and very need of time of this place. My name is Dr. Rahul. I'm a professor in the management school, and I'm also the head of Office of International, which take care of research, quality assurance, and ranking side. During my conference, during my presentation, I would love to talk about and share the experience of India in terms of digitizations in the education, especially focusing on how Indian government is integrating the context of digital things with a population of 1.4 billion, which is, I think, number one in all over the world. So it's going to be a challenging efforts for Indian government. And during this presentation, I will be highlighted two SDG factor, which is SDG 4, talking about bringing the quality to education, and SDG 9, which is basically how Indian government is incorporating industry collaborations, innovations, and developing an infrastructure in India. These both is having a very important in the context of India, because first, India is a developing country. Second, we are the country which is having very strong youth power, which required a high level of education system, and the contribution of India in terms of growth of the world is very important. There's an important factor which I would like to highlight, that how the Indian government is doing this. So I'll divide my presentation into three ways. In the first part, I'll talk about that how India shifts from the traditional education system to the digital education system, which moving from quantity to quality side, which comes under SDG 4. I also would love to highlight Indian government initiatives in terms of innovations, infrastructures, and that part, which basically comes under SDG 9. And last but not the least, I would like to highlight that what are the monitoring process Indian government follow to see that these work and policies are actually working on ground or not. So I'll start with the one which is moving from quantity to quality, which is focused on SDG 4. Quality of education is always being a challenge in India, considering the factor that India is very highly digital divide, where one side we have metro cities like Delhi, Chennai, Pune, Bangalore, which is well known for their IT work or IT involvement. In the other side, we have a rural place where even though some part still struggling to get the electricity. Considering that factor, Indian government has worked very hard from last one decade to work on SDG 4, and I would love to highlight some of the key programs which Indian government run, and probably it's going to be a case study or a contribution to the young researchers who are thinking about to work on this sustainability side, focusing on education 5.0. So the first policy which started in 2020, India has changed its education policy. It was being in a long that we are following the old traditional education policy, which is highly supported the traditional way of education, which is teaching based education, where the most of the student has to come to the classroom and doing the traditional way of education systems by using pen and paper. But during the time of COVID, when the world learned, we also learned that there is a need of change in the traditional education systems. Considering that point, the Indian education system or the Indian government has bring the new education policy, where they have emphasized on bringing the digital component in the curriculum. They try to put it as a policy document where all private and the public institutions has to be incorporate technology in their program. So they have to not only add the technology in their teaching methodology, but they also has to create an infrastructure and environment which supports the mindset of technologies, which reflect that it's very much close to the SDG 4, where Indian government has drastically start changing the infrastructure inside the schools and the higher education system, where they have motivate the team that they have to change the curriculum and also incorporate the latest technologies in the classroom, so the student can aware and educated by through a digital method. The second approach which Indian government has started, which they call it SWAM and SWAMPrabha, it's basically a web-based learning model. This program was designed in such a way that if a rural place per kid who wants to be a part of the high qualification or highly level of qualification in the metro city but cannot afford, they can be in a part through online modes, which is 24/7 available on the TV. So there are a lot of digital way of learning, and there are a lot of vocational program Indian government have runs through the different regional channels, where they they give a similar form of experience to a rural students which cannot afford the high level or traveling to the metro cities, which try to be more focused on SDG 4, because India is a is a land which is having 1.4 billion, and there is a high disparities in terms of earning and the connectivity. So the approach under SWAYAM, government tried to bring close the digital gap between the rural areas and the metro areas through providing this opportunity through digital mode, through channels, which probably is one of the iconic and most successful event and our program run by the Indian government. The another things which Indian government have initiated on terms of quality, uh, there are in the rural schools where there is no library. If the student wants to study, they probably either have to buy an expensive books through online mode or through they have to go city to buy it, which creates and limit their learning method. So Indian government has initiated a national digital library where they can have of all form of all discipline books in all form of language. I would like to quote here that India is in a country which has officially 29 official language, and if you go by reason wise, it could be more than 100. So there are selected possibility that in a rural areas students can understand English in that way where the regional language is more dominating. So this national library provide an opportunity to a student to understand their interest of subject in their own language, because Indian government believe that learning is not depend on some form of language, and learning can be depend on the will of a student. So under that, they create a e-content where the numerous form of disciplines are available in numerous language, and student can uh, download those books, or student can also generally read on an online mode if they desire, which again reflect that the initiative taken by Indian government under the SDG 4. The another factor which Indian government start is Operation Digital Board. Operation Digital Board is basically making a classroom a smart classroom. Instead of using a traditional blackboard and white chalk concept, now most of the higher education institutions and the government institutions start incorporating the digital board classroom system, which gives a feeling to students to more connected with technology. They can go through with especially in the social science side, where they can learn about history, geography, and any other subject which they interest in a digital form, and which brings a digital literacy among the especially among the students who are in a rural place. This initiative again comes under the SDG 4 because the government is trying to improve the quality level in government and the public schools in India. Another important initiative taken by Indian government under SDG 4 is Eat Pathshala. Pathshala is basically is in a Hindi word of school systems. So there under that, they not only bring the textbooks which generally used in their school, they book the textbooks in a audio and a visual form, considering the factor that there are some kids which are born with some disability. To take care of their needs, they can download those books in audio and a visual form, and they can learn those things with as per their requirement. Please note this, these all services are free of cost, available to anybody. The student just need to register themselves, and they can access all the things 24/7 wherever they are. These are some initiatives which Indian government have took under SDG 4 to try to create a quality education systems in India under Education 5.0. There are other initiative which is taken by Indian government under the STEM program, especially focused on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, which basically comes under um, that SDG 9 factor, where the innovations and other programs are matter a lot. Under these things, India has first initiated the Atal Innovation Mission. Atal is in the name of our previous Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Under that, the government has motivated to use technology under the STEM programs. They provide the level of infrastructures, they provide the level of instructions, they provide the level of learning to the educator as well as to the students. to make ready for the world. So when they go out from these kind of programs, they are going to be handy to the working environment by having enough digital knowledge about it. Under that, they have started different forms of centers, different forms of labs, which cater the requirement of 1.4 billion people in India. Another factor which probably one of my I believe that is an important initiative by Indian government to create a special initiative for the female candidates in schools as well as in the university level, that is called Vigyan Jyoti. Under that, the Indian government has motivated the STEM education by the use of science and technology, especially focused on the female or the girls in that school. It's motivate and reduce the gender disparity, gender disparities among the schools. Is an equal opportunity for on the basis of their knowledge, not on the basis of their gender. And under this program, there's uh, very deep support given to the rural peoples where education are generally is not very much available for female candidates, but under this program that the schools can create a platform which motivates the kids or especially the female kids to come for a STEM program by using science and technology methods. There's another initiative taken under the SDG 9 factor. They call it Rashtriya Avishkar Abhiyan. That means National Innovation Center, which basically focus to motivate students in government and public schools to focus more on innovation, especially using in the area of STEM field. It is recommended by Indian government to the school educators that instead of focusing more on classroom learning, they should be more involved in the hand-to learning things where they are. We can create or we can nurture their innovative mind and give them on a proper platform where they can have hand-on experiment, especially in the area of STEM program. Another program which run by Indian government is National Missions on Interdisciplinary Cyber Physical Systems. It is launched by the Indian higher education systems, where they incorporate the latest artificial intelligence knowledge, as well as the roles of robotics and other things on STEM program to create an innovation. This program is basically provide an opportunity to the students to being to being in to understand the concept of latest involvement of AI and robotics, and is how it could be useful for especially in the STEM programs. It also provide a different form of first-hand experience as well as the data which student probably could use to go on these sites. The second factor, which is vocational and technical educations, considering the factor that the level of populations we have in India and the level of job opportunities we have in India, there is a marginal and there is a substantial gap in terms of metro and the rural areas. The Indian government have come up with this concept called Skill India Mission, where they motivate the schools that instead of focusing more on classroom study, run the vocational program, which is giving students a core technical informations or knowledge which could help them to become an effective employee in the future. So it could be in a form of short-term courses, it could be in a form of workshops, it could be in a form of live projects, it could be in a form of internship opportunity, where one side the students are involved in the classroom study, but same time what they study in the classroom they can have a practical experience in the real world by giving them an opportunity under different key schemes which run under Skill India missions. Another opportunity under SDG 9, the Indian government have initiated called National Apprentice Promotion Scheme. It's basically where a company basically take school as an point of contact where they can take 4 and 5 student as an apprentice while they are studying in those schools and universities. They probably work with the company as a full-time employee, where they understand that the real world and the classroom study how much they are interrelated with each other. The employer generally hired them in such a basis that they give them an ample of opportunity to complete their education, but at the same time they give them a work as a full-time employee where the student work and they can earn money at the same time while they are in school or things. Please remember that this program is not for elementary level or under senior secondary level, because there is a right to education law where the student cannot work full time under a certain age. So this is more in a form of internship where probably student don't need to go to company every day, but they have a project from the company and they submit that project, and that company probably support these students in the financial form. It generally is in a form of industry and education collaborations where they probably understand the real world challenges and they can earn a real time experience which helps them to become a skillful employee in the future. As SDG 9 have an infrastructure factor, Indian government have initiated a lot of programs under them. Some of them which I would love to highlight here is National Supercomputing Mission. Under that, the Indian government have bring a supercomputers in the school as well as in the university to give them especially in the STEM side, where the physics, biology, and other factors which earlier used to study through books are giving them an opportunity to understand in the real world by using supercomputers. That would required a lot of investment, which is done by the Indian government for changing the infrastructure of schools as well as universities and bringing the scientists or the top experiment people to the schools and give them an idea to the students that how these what they are the science which they are studying in the classroom can help them in future and give them a person as a role model to motivate them to go more towards the STEM side by using a digital platform uh, in their school level. Another initiative under SDG 9 was Imprint India. That is Indian Institute of Technology, that is IITs. Most of you people, I believe, you know IITs is one of the top institutions in terms of technology. The Indian government have incorporated IITs expert to the school level. So every IITs can support one school in terms of train them, in terms to give them a skillful knowledge and same time help them to build labs in the classroom in such a form that the students can be more close to the technology and they probably going to be in an effective manpower in the future course of actions. Last, the Indian government has also signed a memorandum of understanding with the top education institutions in the world. Especially these institutions are focused to collaborate with the schools and the universities and tell them about that what is the requirement of a industry in terms of technology. So most of the schools or universities are aware about that if they are studying STEM programs or they are studying social science program, and if they wanted to be a part of suppose Google or they wanted to be part of Samsung or they wanted to be part of any other organization, what technologies is running right now and what could be the future which could be in these firms. So they understand the requirement in very early age and they try to develop the give opportunity to these corporate people to come to the universities and at the school level, not only to metro but to the rural place, to share their experience as well as support schools to become more effective in the digital side by sometime giving enough financial support to develop a digital infrastructure in the universities and schools. This initiative have changed a lot of schools in India, especially in the rural side, and that's probably one of the good initiative taken by the Indian government. So these are some of the efforts which is taken by Indian government under SDG 4 and SDG 9. Every government has taken a lot of effort, but until and unless you don't have a proper framework which probably help them to monitoring the things, no initiative could be considered as an successful. So there are a lot of digital platform where Indian government have not only incorporate for the student, but they also incorporate for the educators. Uh, Most of the higher education institutions, which is or school level education, which is in the rural part of India, uh, the educators, especially like the teachers or seniors, those who are not aware about the digital technologies and how to use that digital technology to make more effective learning environment in the classroom. So Indian government have incorporated Diksha, which is basically focusing to the teachers to train them on latest digital technologies and how to teach and use those digital technology in the classrooms. They also initiative the Nistha program, which is only for the top stakeholders of a schools. Probably they trained school heads, principals, and the senior teachers that how to create an environment in the classrooms, which is especially focused for the subjects like social science, where people believe that technology cannot be used, how they can use digital technologies for especially in social science area in the classrooms to make this subject more interesting and more effective in terms of learning outcomes. There are another programs like Swam and Swam Prabha, which we already discussed. It's also available for the teachers to train them on mocks classes, which is massive open online course. So one side where this program teach the educators that how they can run a mock program. They also learn from this program from top notch people in the world that where how to use a technology in the teaching practice, how to do a technology in terms of creating a good learning environment. In short, we trained under this program all the teachers and faculties so that they could be deliver, especially the social science component, which in the classrooms to make these subjects more interesting as well as more effective for the students. Every year, Indian government keep motivating and doing activities through the government sites where they have a numerous workshops to check and evaluate the level of the teachers in terms of using technologies in the classrooms. They grade the faculty members on the basis of their evaluation on these mocks, and if it's required, there's a further training will be provided free of cost to those teachers to encourage them to more use a digital literacy or programs in their classrooms. So in conclusion, as I said, Indian government have took numerous initiatives. Probably Swam, Diksha, and Atal is few of the program under SDG 6 and SDG 9. Create a very sustainable process in the higher education system as well as elementary education systems at metro as well as rural areas of India. The last, which probably I'll jump on, which is the monitoring part of the program. Uh, Considering this that Indian government have launched a lot of programs, it was slightly challenging to see the whether this program is actually working on ground level or actually bringing the same result which Indian government was expecting. So that challenge Indian government tried to bring and reduce by incorporating few of the important factor, which is first focusing on monitoring, especially on the SDG 4 concept, which is quality of education. They bring the unified district information system. We call it UDC. It is in a platform which is continuously monitoring the schools on different parameters. So whatever happening in the classroom, whether the digital things is happening, whether the teachers are teaching using the digital platform, it's a real time systems which is monitored by the Indian government under this program. And this program helps the Indian government to understand the ground level reality and the challenges faced by the teachers as well as the students. And with the help of this feedback, Indian government keep upgrading their policies and incorporating new things so that the Indian education system become more effective for the world. Another factor in the monitoring side, Indian government start called performance grading index. It is basically an index which is where the government ranked schools as well as higher education system on the basis of their level of infrastructure, which is supporting digital education. What is the learning outcome in the classrooms by using the digital method, as well as is it the digital platform giving equal opportunity to all form of gender and religions? The governments collect this data on the different grading index, and on the basis of the grading, Indian government knows that in which cities or in which schools those who are doing really good and those who are not doing really good, they can put it on. They ranked the schools and then they rank the cities and the states, and they knows that where they have to work another harder to make these things more effective in the future. There's another monitoring method which Indian government use, that is called National Achievement Survey. It is in a survey which is in the based on measuring the learning outcome of students. So Indian government check and track the students' knowledge, especially using the digital technology in different subjects like mathematics, language, and science. And after evaluating this survey, they do amendment on their policies, and they also recommend states and the schools to cater the problems or the gaps coming between the the desire as well as the ground level what executing it so far. There are all program which is run by the Indian government have the mechanism, self mechanism, where they have a live, concept of recordings. Operation Digital Board, just an example, it is also being a part of SDG 4. But when the faculties are using the digital boards inside the classroom, it has direct real time connection with the higher education ministry or the Ministry of Higher Education India. They can have a real time data that what kind of content teachers are teaching in the classrooms. Are this content is as per the requirement of a student or a country? And if the teachers or students are struggling in some, so the management is such a way that they automatically collect the feedback and suggested the schools to improve their performance in that level. Similarly goes to Atal Innovations. These all are the government initiatives where the accountability of schools and universities to make sure that they provide infrastructure and resources to the students in case the Indian government find that under this program, if the schools are not catering all these things in the schools, that the government take very serious against those schools, and the schools probably sometime get blacklisted or closed if they are not following the parameter which is required for a digital transformations of those schools. And there is a lot of other initiatives which is matching with the requirement of things. So I'll probably highlight here is one of the important which is neat. I believe some of you people heard it's basically using of artificial intelligence and digital tools with the collaboration of public and private to buying or the artificial support to India is always being hard because in officially we have 1000 higher education institutions and probably 200 plus state universities, and similarly applicable to schools level. Bringing digital technologies to that such a vast education network is always being a challenge for a government because of the funding challenge. So Indian government have signed numerous partnerships with the private companies to support this initiative. Under that, the Indian government keep monitoring that the support which was given by the private entity to develop the infrastructure at the school level is actually solving the challenges and giving an opportunity to the students to improve their learning outcome, especially in the focus of technology side as well as social science side. Another factor which is used is called Rashtriya Uchtarta Shiksha Abhiyan. Basically, it's a program which is run by Ministry of Higher Education. It is given on a platform and using digital technologies to improve the enrollment process at schools and university level. The students who are in rural part of India and they probably not aware about the enrollment process, so they generally go online mode to understand and the prime idea behind is to provide a student opportunity to improve the enrollment at school and university level. Considering that factor that Indian geography is so vast, a student sometimes miss an opportunity, and uh, at a moment our enrollment target is take them to almost 100%, which is in a mammoth task in the country like India where the population is a big number. So in conclusion, there are numerous programs run by Indian government, not only to implement SDG 4 and SDG 9, but at the same time, there are mechanisms created by Indian government to monitor their policies formations and whether these policies are as per the requirement of schools and higher education in rural sector as well as the higher sector, which is based on metro cities. So with this note, I'll conclude my things. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I probably believe that this opportunity not only for you to learn from me, but at the same time, I'll happy to learn from you about what's happening in your country, and we could learn from each other to motivate. So thank you very much, Dr. Mega, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank
I'll
you
stop
very
my
much,
screen.
Dr. Rahul. All right. We will move to our second speaker, Professor Bukhari, our best friend from Universitas PGRI Semarang, Indonesia. So again, let me take a moment to introduce our great professor. Professor Dr. Ahmad Bukhari is a distinguished academic currently serving as the Secretary of the Master of Basic Education program at UGRIS for the 2023-2027. He was the head of the Business Incubator and Journal Development Center at LPPM Universitas PGRI Semarang. He's actively involved in additional roles, including being a member of BAKATI and LLDP Region 6 Central Java since 2019, a National Research Reviewer for the LPPM since 2017. Professor Bukhari has made significant contribution as the editor-in-chief of the International Journal of Research in Education, Icesre, since 2019, and JITMAT, an academic journal on mathematics education, since 2016. He holds leadership roles in the Indonesian PGRI Higher Education Association, PPI, serving as vice chairman from 2020 to 2024 and chairman from 2024 to 2029. His achievements have earned his various awards, including recognition as the most productive researcher and lecturer in international journal publications at Universitas PGRI Semarang. He has also received accolades as the runner-up for Outstanding Lecturer in Social Sciences and Humanities in Central Java, and first place as Academic Leader in Education from LLDP Region 6 Central Java in 2023. Professor Bukhari will explore how augmented and virtual reality technologies can play a critical role in promoting sustainable development through innovations in the education sector. His presentation, titled "The Important Role of Augmented Reality and Virtual Reality Technology in Advancing Sustainable Development Goals in Education Sector." It is my pleasure to invite Professor Ahmad Bukhari to present his keynote speech. Please.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Mega. I will present my PowerPoint, Dr. Mega. Okay.
Prof, I think your voice is too low. Can you please maybe up the microphone a little bit closer?
Okay. Dr. Mega, please turn to me.
Yes. And also put the full screen mode. Thank you, Prof.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, in this morning, I want to present about the important role of augmented reality and virtual reality technology in advancing sustainable development goal in the education sector. My profile, I am Ahmad Bukhari. I teach in the Mathematics Education Study Program at PGRI University Semarang with a research focus in the field of mathematics learning technology. Recent achievement leader in education at the regional LTT 6 Central Java level in 2023. SDGs. SDGs is the Sustainable Development Goal, consists of 17 global goals with 169 measurable targets and deadline set by the United Nations as the World Development Agenda for peace and prosperity for humankind and the planet now and in the future. This is a table of SDGs. 17 Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, consists of number 1, no poverty. Number 2, zero hunger. Number 3, good health and well-being. Number 4, quality education. This is special topic for me. Number 5, gender equality. Number 6, clean water and sanitation. Number 7, affordable and clean energy. Number 8, decent work and economic growth. This picture I get from internet. Yeah, this condition in the Sukoharjo, Central Java, is poverty. SDGs number 9. No problem. Okay. Number 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Number 10, reduces inequality. Number 11, sustainable cities and communities. Number 12, responsible consumption and production. Number 13, climate action. Number 14, life below water. Number 15, life on land. Number 16, peace, justice, and strong institution. Number 17, partnership for the goals. Each goal has specific target that must be achieved. These goals are expected to be reached by 2030 to improve global sustainability. This picture is industry in Semarang city. And then the second picture is war, Palestine and Israel. SDGs, quality education. Quality education is ensure inclusive, quality and equitable education and provide lifelong learning opportunities. This elementary school and junior high school in Indonesia. Inclusive education. Inclusive education is an approach to create a learning environment that is open to everyone, regardless of diverse background or condition, including characteristic, physical condition, personality, status, ethnicity, culture, and so on. This picture is condition student SLB, yeah, School of SLB in Semarang. SLB is a school of disability student. Okay. My research, yeah, on VR-based learning for inclusive children. In our research on mathematics learning for inclusive children based on virtual reality conducted at SLB, Negeri Ungaran Semarang, yeah, School of Disability Student. We provided ample opportunities for all students with physical, emotional, mental, and social disabilities, or those with exceptional intelligence or special talent to gain high quality VR-based mathematics learning experience tailored to their needs and abilities. My software, my application is nicknamed Figma. Figma is gamifikasi matematika, yeah, especially to student or children disabilities. This is my video. Mr. Lukman teach a student to get a chicken or a pig and count the how much the chicken. And then this video, Miss Dini, yeah, Miss Dini teach a student to get a chicken, yeah, to count the chicken and then took on the umbrella. Okay. Every student is very happy to get the answer from question in the whiteboard. So helping to release the implementation of inclusive learning that values diversity and is non-discriminatory for all students, with 98% of SLB students showing increased learning motivation. We also implemented virtual reality technology at elementary school Josari Semarang and at Icesre with computer simulation technology that depict a virtual reality situation where users are encouraged to interact with the environment. Student and university students become more enthusiastic about participating in mathematics learning. First picture is I and Mr. Dr. Sumarno, yeah, research in the elementary school Rejosari Semarang. Every student can use virtual reality camera to play the game with virtual reality camera and answer any question in the application. So this team research in the mathematics education program Icesre, yeah, to college student can use this VR camera, especially virtual reality about transformation geometry. After research about virtual reality, my team research on augmented reality based learning. I get three pictures. Picture one is college student from PPG, yeah, in postgraduate Icesre, and then second, it's same from college student PPG. It's me, yeah, okay. In addition to using VR, we also implemented augmented reality in mathematics learning as a technology that can integrate two-dimensional or three-dimensional virtual objects into a real environment and display them in real time. Yeah. This is my product with my team, Miss Dini and Mr. Swarno Widodo. This is a smart book EduPlay. We make this application with my team with augmented reality for learning to read, write, and count, because this product is very compatible with kindergarten student and then with elementary school. It's very interesting to use this smart book EduPlay. This product after use in rarely 70 elementary school in Indonesia, especially in the Central Java. The result of the student, yeah, student test, parent and student can detect a report in the application. Okay. Introduction to mathematics learning for grade 10 based on augmented reality at Senior High School 1 Semarang. All 10 grade students take turn using the high school mathematics AR book with augmented reality element appearing in each lesson, making it easier for students to understand the material presented by the teacher. This is every student can use a smartphone to shoot the AR book. Yeah, every student is very enthusiastic to shoot the smartphone to AR book with marker. After conducting the research, it was found that 86.40% of students at Senior High School 1 Semarang are very pleased to use augmented reality in mathematics learning. This is my product, virtual augmented reality in mathematics. This is my product, virtual augmented reality in mathematics, combine AR and VR project. Yeah, this product was used in the many university in the Central Java, in UIN, in Unisula, in Unimus, in the UPGRIS, etc. The student can open the product, sphere, and then a cube, yeah, to showing the formula in this cylinder, cube, and sphere. In the laboratory mathematics education UPRIS, the college student can make the application every day, yeah, about augmented reality and virtual reality, because the laboratory in the mathematics education program UPRIS many support software, computer in the laboratory. Augmented reality and virtual reality, not special mathematics education, but science and then language or social science is very interesting to get augmented reality and virtual reality. Augmented reality with AR book, yeah. Okay, yeah, finish my project, and then my conclusion. First conclusion, in order to improve the quality of inclusive education, it is necessary to innovate in learning, one of which is the use of the latest AR and VR based technologies. Second conclusion, for mathematics learning from elementary school to university to proceed normally and with quality, synergy is needed between the government, private sector, and the general public. Third conclusion, in realizing the SDGs in the field of quality education, the country must truly be present in providing fairness, in assessing all facilities, especially internet connectivity, to support AR and VR based learning. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. See you next time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Oke, Dr. Mega.
All right, thank you very much, Professor Ahmad Bukhari. It's very insightful presentation. So before we move to the Q&A session, I'd like to take a moment to reflect on the key takeaways from both of our esteemed speakers in plenary session 1, Dr. Rahul Bandari from Jindal Global University, India, and also Professor Ahmad Bukhari from Universitas PGRI Semarang. So first, Dr. Rahul Bandari share with us his perspective on India's integration of digital technology in social science and education 5.0. Dr. Bandari highlighted the crucial role of digital transformation in addressing educational inequalities, especially in rural areas. He emphasized on the importance of utilizing emerging technologies like AI, data analytics, and digital platforms to foster collaboration between social science education and the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) was particularly insightful. Dr. Bandari painted a clear picture of how these technologies can create new learning pathways and accelerate India's progress towards achieving the SDGs. He stressed also the importance of adapting curricula and upskilling educators to better utilize this innovation in social science education. Following that, Professor Ahmad Bukhari from Universitas PGRI Semarang brought us an inspiring overview of how augmented reality AR and virtual reality VR are revolutionizing education in terms of engagement, accessibility, and sustainability. Professor Bukhari explored how these immersive technologies can provide hands-on experiences that go beyond traditional learning, helping the students understand complex concepts of more intuitively. His presentation also touched on the way AR and VR can be strategically integrated into educational system to align with the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly in fostering quality education, inclusive learning environments, and lifelong learning opportunities. He also outlined some case studies and examples where AR and VR have already shown promising results in the classroom. So with these valuable insights from both Dr. Rahul Bandari and Professor Ahmad Bukhari, I'm sure you have a lot of thoughts and questions. Now we will open the floor for our question and answer session. We will have around 15 minutes for this session, so please feel free to engage with us. You can ask questions directly to our speakers by raising your hands, or if you are joining us virtually, you can type your question in the chat and I will read it out for you. You can either raise your hand if you are here with us in person, or if you're joining online, you can type the question in chat. And here we already have some questions from Jenny. I'm not sure whether Mr. or Mrs. Jenny. One question for Dr. Rahul Bandari. Dr. Bandari, are you still with us? Would you please open your camera? Okay. All right. So here, Mr. or Miss Jenny asked India integrated technology to education. How does India face the challenges to remote areas that there is lack of technology or internet? Also, India has proposed on SDGs. One of them is SDGs 10, reduce inequality. My second question is India is known with the caste system. How does India face the inequality in education? Please, Dr. Rahul, would you please to answer?
Thank you very much, Dr. Mega. And the both questions are very relevant in the context of India. Number one, India is a country which has a highest land mass, as well as there is a high gap between the rich and the poor people, which create a huge gap in digital gap between the people in terms of connection, in terms of internet, which is I think a basic necessity to implement a digital concept in the classroom. So to addressing these issues, Indian government have took some initiatives like e-Vidya, where Indian government is trying to, put the content of digital programs in the national channels, which students can access through just by watching the television. They also started Pradhan Mantri Gramin Digital something. I mean, I'm just missing the name, Abhiyan. That is basically under that the Indian government tried to bring the national telecom company to establish towers in different rural areas instead of giving this opportunity to the private, people in technology to provide the cheap and the good access to the rural people on a minimum price. There is one more initiative which Indian government took to reduce the gap, which is Rajiv Gandhi Digital Literary Mission, in which the young professor who joined state university or a young teachers who joined government schools, they have mandatory 3 years in their initial stage of things. They have to be in a rural part. So if suppose I join any state university, my first job will be in the rural part to spend 3 years so that I can take the digital learning which I learn from the metro cities and other areas to the classroom of a rural people. That's the way the government is trying. But being honest, it's a challenging factor. India is so big that
He has lost the connection again. Everyone can hear. All right, wait a moment. Dr. Rahul, are you still with us? All right, at least he answered the first question for you all. So we are waiting for him to join us again for answering the second question. So I will move forward to our great Professor Ahmad Bukhari. You have many questions here raised for you. From Mela Farestin Mahardika from Universitas PGRI Semarang, have all schools in Indonesia use AR and VR based technology to support classroom learning? And then here from Ibu Cindy Nur Aini from UNES. First, let me introduce myself. Okay, I will skip this part. So, what are the disadvantages of using AR and VR technology in learning math at school? And also here, Mela Farestin again. Have all schools in Indonesia use AR, VR again? The same questions. Okay, Professor Bukhari, please answer.
Okay, Dr. Mika. First question, have all school in Indonesia use AR and VR based technology to support classroom learning? Based on data from the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology, schools that use the latest AR and VR based technology are still very few. Less than 10% of schools in Indonesia use this technology. This is because the infrastructure to support the use of AR and VR in classroom learning is quite expensive. Then special skills are needed for teachers to create AR and VR based learning application. This is my answer, Dr. Mega, from first question.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Ahmad Bukhari. Dr. Rahul already with us? Are you here with us? Oh, please, IT support, please allow him to unmute. Dr. Rahul is already with us.
Okay, please,
Okay.
can you repeat the
Okay.
question?
Okay, wait. All right. So the second question is, India also has a purpose on SDG. One of them is SDGs number 10, reduce inequality. The question is, India is known with the caste system. Caste. How does India face the inequality in education? This is your opinion.
Right. Again, it's again a very important question in terms of education system in India. India, of course, being in uh, the biggest country which follow the different religions, and same time under that religion there is a different category of caste system is there. To ensure that the education system's not impacted by the caste system process, the Indian government long back bring the law called right to education. It's a constitutional law that the education systems cannot differentiate any students, either it's male or female, on the basis of caste. All the students will get similar kind of treatment and opportunity in education sector. In case somebody breach that, it will be an legal consequences against the institution as well as against the individuals. Apart from that, Indian government have created a strong reservation policies where the lower cater of the caste systems, especially those people who are not financially strong and they cannot afford the education. There's a special reservations in all Indian government as well as private institutions to provide them economical, support and enroll them in the program. So there is a 5% to 8% level of reservation available in each schools and all to cater those differentiation of the caste system. The Indian government also run different financial and the scholarship which is focused for the people who belongs to certain caste to motivate them to send their kids to the school and uh, increase the enrollment numbers at school level where all the students can participate. Indian government also run midday meal process for the poor kids so that when they give them a proper meal in the school, it motivates kids to come to school, and that's the way they create an environment where the student at least participate in the education process of the country. And last, the national education policy, which is recently 2020 Indian government has developed, is highly focused on to the people which belongs to the different caste systems. That means the education system is designed in such a way where whatever language you are speaking, the education can be delivered on that way. So language could not be a barrier because when the student wants to go in education, as I say, India is a land of languages. So there are a chances that different caste systems speak different language and they probably not comfortable to speak English or any other language of other regions. So Indian policies of NEP, National Education Policy, drafted in such a way that all castes, all reservations, and as well as all individuals, whether they are financially weak, get an equal opportunity under the education policy, and it's protected by the legal system of India. I believe I'm able to justify the Indian government stance on the caste system, but the I would love to add here that as India is a big country, still there are some areas where in disparities are there, but considering that we are a developing nation, we keep improving and we are keep learning from our mistakes. And probably it's a target that before 2030 we probably remove and make sure the enrollment level reach to the highest in the country so that there is an equal opportunity for all people and there is no discrimination on the basis of caste and gender in the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your very nice explanation. Actually, this also clear the stereotype of India. Actually, every country, every tribes, they have their own stereotype for to see the other country, right? And here we still have another question for you. I think you are here being the star of today's seminar. Um, what initiatives has India implemented to integrate digital technology into its education system, and how do they align with the SDGs? It's from Bintang Avatara, our university. So please.
All right. Thank you very much for another questions. As I showed in my presentation that Indian government has already took a lot of initiatives like Atal Innovations, Swam Prabha, and all these things. Uh, Indian's government is right now is highly focused on the transition period where we are changing ourselves into traditional language, traditional way of education to digital side. And in this initial phase of the transactions, Indian government have put lot of financial support to the state universities and state schools to change their infrastructure so that that infrastructure should match with the requirement of the student as well as industry. Indian government also motivated the companies and the private entities under the corporate social responsibility that they should support the national schools and national universities to solve this problem. And by doing this, Indian government is continuously trying to cover the two important SDGs in the education system, which is SDG 4, focusing on quality side, and SDG 9, which is focused highly on in terms of creating the infrastructure. We are in a stage of transformation, so I cannot say that we achieved so far. We are still need a lot of time considering the number of schools and the number of students we have. But it is expected that if we keep moving in the same direction, which is, I believe, is in a right approach, we probably in the coming days, we absolutely transform our education where the traditional system will be overtaken by the digital mode, like we did in our other areas where, for example, if you're aware about India is one of the number one in terms of digital payment systems. We don't use now the currency, paper currency. So that's the way we also planning to transfer our education system. But yes, there is a digital divide, and we believe that very soon we are going to cover this part also.
All right. Thank you so much for your really insightful discussion. So I think it is enough for the Q&A session for the first plenary. Colleagues and students, next we will move to plenary session 2, which will be moderated by Ibu Desi Maulina. I will now hand the session over to her. Thank you, everyone. I look forward to the next session.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Mega. Good morning, colleagues and participants. Welcome to plenary session 3 and 4. My name is Desi Molia. I will serving as your moderator, and we're having two researchers for this session, Prof. Ethel and Dr. Yuxel. Prof. Ethel, just come. Okay. Hello. Good morning, Prof. Ethel.
Good morning.
Okay. First of all, may I introduce to our third keynote speaker, Prof. Ethel Chua Choi Ong, a professor and a dean of the College of Computer Studies at De La Salle University, the LSU, Philippines. Yeah, Prof. Ethel holds a PhD in computer sciences and had led various research projects funded by organizations like the Philippines Department of Science and Technology and UNICEF. Some of her significant publications are in the area of computer science, especially in AI. Her works focuses on improving human-computer interaction through storytelling, with application in learning, mental health, cyber safety, and social emotional development. Please welcome Prof. Ethel Chua Choi Ong. She will be speaking on us about storytelling with Orson towards human AI collaborative learning. How do you do, Prof. Ethel?
Okay.
Okay.
So good morning, everyone.
Yeah.
Wait, just let me set up my slides. Okay.
Yes.
So good morning again, everyone. I am here to let me fix things up. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm here to present our work in constructing a shared storytelling companion named Orson. So Orson basically is a chatbot that seeks to help children create their stories. So let me first give an overview of natural language processing. So it's also known as computational linguistics or human language technology. This involves building computer models of human language and intelligent tools to help computers process our written text and speech. We are all familiar with language technologies. We've seen them in our machine translation, search engines, and large language models that can already process a large volume of text or a corpus of documents, including news articles, books, manuscripts, blogs, social media data, so that these tools can analyze our sentiments, extract keywords, detect topics, and generate summaries, reports, essays, and even stories. So my whole research is actually anchored on storytelling, and let me explain why. So stories are everywhere, with families, at home, among friends in school, the workplace, the community. People spend most of their time telling stories. It's the most basic form of human communication, to narrate what happened in our lives, to share our beliefs, to propagate our cultural heritage, and to exchange information. So Matthew Fay, in 2014, he posits that machines can better work with their human users if these machines can understand the human thought process, as commonly found in the way people exchange stories. So my main research question actually for the last decade has been, how can we combine human creativity with artificial intelligence technologies to make computers be storytellers? So continuing on what Matthew Fay said, so endowing computers with storing abilities affords intelligent agents or chatbots with the capacity to enhance their communication with their human users through engaging in more fruitful conversation that leads to better support in the completion of contextual tasks. So in this case, basically, what we simply want to achieve is, can we use stories to help computers better work with their human users? So this is our latest paper on ORSEN, which is what I will explain later after this. So our latest paper on ORSEN will appear in the Journal of Research and Practice in Technology Enhanced Learning. Okay, it's published by the Asia Pacific Society for Computers in Education. So part of teaching computers how to tell stories is to understand that the storytelling process is highly collaborative. Participants share the role of co-authors who can contribute in the construction of stories, guiding each other through prompts and suggested story text to help one another think about the elements of a story or how the story will progress. So during the shared storytelling process, each participant can share information or ask questions about the characters, their actions, their emotions, the plot or the series of events. They can also reflect on what's happening in the story and relate it to the relevance to the real world or what's happening in their lives. So with the release of highly fluent and intelligent chatbots, we want to increase the involvement of learners in the story construction process to make the learning more constructive, more interactive, thereby increasing learner motivation and engagement. So we began working with Google Home, Alexa, and Google Assistant in building our conversational storytelling agents named ORSEN, and these are some of the papers, the previous papers before the journal, okay? Then for ORSEN to mimic similar behaviors as a co-author and as a facilitator, it first needs to understand the intent behind the user input. So one of the things we have to do early on during the research is to understand what are the different types of prompts that children can send to the storytelling chatbot. So we classified this into two. We classified this user utterance or prompt into 4. So child can issue a command, for example, Orsen, can you help me? A child can answer Orsen's questions. For example, if Orsen asks, do you like this suggested story text? The child can say yes, no. The child can also share an actual story text. And there are also numerous instances when a child remains silent because the child doesn't know how to proceed with the stories. So based on the types of user inputs or user utterances, the storytelling agent can now decide what type of response to generate. So it's not always an answer to the input of the child because the child may not be asking any question. So the types of responses can include feedback. So for example, this can be a positive feedback, a neutral feedback, or a negative feedback that says no. In our case, we don't have negative feedback. It's positive or neutral. The next one will be pump. So pump will be simply asking the child to share more details about the story. For example, what is the color of the dress? What happened to the ball? Then it can also give a hint. So if the child has been silent, then maybe the story generator can inject possible text or story text to help the child continue with the story. Then the elaborate is when the storytelling agent is simply repeating what the child said. So this is another way of telling the child that I am here, I am listening to you, okay? Then there is a suggest. So the difference between the hint and the suggest is for the suggestion, the suggested story text is phrased as a question. Now, the reason why the suggest and the hint sound or seem similar is because the suggest was for an extension of ORSEN when we already turned the conversational storytelling agent into a teachable software agent. So what is a teachable software agent? So in teaching or in education, there is one group of researchers who promote the idea that children or learners will learn best if they are teaching somebody else. If they can explain the lesson, if they can explain the concept, if they can explain the problem-solving process to another person, then that is also another way for the child or the student to acquire a new lesson. So in this case, instead of the chatbot providing all the answers, what we turn this to is to make the chatbot appear less intelligent than the child, so that the child will be the one trying to teach new concept to the agent. That's why earlier, the purpose of the suggest now is, this is when the agent is not sure if the idea or the text that he or she is, that the agent is suggesting to the child is valid. That's why it is posed as a question rather than the hint. In the hint, the agent is sure that whatever it is presenting to the child, it's a valid story text. Okay, so that's basically the difference. So what we want to promote here is that children's stories can cover broad topics from prince to princesses to outer space. So we extended ORSEN to assume the teachable agent so that it can capitalize on an instructional pedagogy where learning is achieved by teaching others. We allowed the storytelling agent to learn new knowledge from the child through the conversation that it exchanged with the child. Okay, so this is basically what I said earlier. Children's stories may contain information about children's perception of the world they live in. So we want the storytelling agent to somehow understand the concepts from the children's perspective by learning from the child's stories. And it also is a way of expanding the knowledge of the agent in case the child shares new knowledge that the agent is unfamiliar with. And then we perform multiple iterations of an experiment with a random sampling of 44 children between 7 to 11 years old. Informed consent and assent forms were administered following university policies on ethics. The children were then briefed on how to individually engage with ORSEN, and we used text and voice interfaces. So we experimented with text interface, with voice interface, as well as teachable agent, okay? And each of the testing session takes over an hour because the children sometimes really do not know what kind of stories they want to tell. So we observe them. So we observe how the children perform the experiments. And then we also conducted structured interviews, okay, and log analysis. So during the experiment, we actually utilized an observation checklist, which I am showing here. to assess how children are engaging with the chatbot. So we have some kind of a checklist where we see if there are cases when the children are not acknowledging the suggested story text by Orson and so on. So we clustered our observation checklist into 3 metrics: performance, or how well the chatbot is doing its task. Basically, the task is to write stories with children, okay? Then collaboration is what evidence or action show that the child treats the storytelling agent as a learning peer, someone he or she can work with to complete his or her task. And then the last one is humanity. So this one looks at if the child considers the conversational agent as on a personal or affective level. If it treats it as simply a tool, or does it treat it as really someone that it enjoys talking to and would want to talk to again. Okay, so these are our criteria. And similarly, aside from the observation checklist that was filled up by proponents or researchers during each of the individual session of children with the chatbot, after the experiment, we also conducted individual interviews and surveys with the child to ask them to also evaluate or share their experience. So these are the questions in our structured survey, and we use emoticons representing happy or sad, so that we know if the child, a 5-scale emoticon to show if the child is very satisfied or not satisfied with their experience in using the conversational agent. Okay, so let me now share what we learned here. So there were a number of research questions, but I want to focus on this one. So one of our research questions focuses on children's perception of conversational agents that can collaborate with them during the story construction process. So we approach this by coming up with a persona or 4 persona that reflect children's level of comfort, engagement, clarity of vision for the story they want to share, and their interest in communicating with the chatbot. So I believe sharing with you the persona would be more interesting, because in the future, as we design more conversational agents that can help children, the persona that we've identified may be able to help you to see what kind of an agent would fit each of the learning style of our students. So the first persona is Sam. So as seen here, Sam is very talkative and knows what story she wants to tell. So in this case, Sam will work best if the conversational agent appears as a teachable agent. So the conversational agent is almost like a silent partner, just listening as the child shares the story. Because in this case, the child has so many things to say, and we want the child to keep talking or typing. Okay? The second one is Sage. Sage is also talkative. Unfortunately, Sage doesn't know what story he wants to say. So in this case, Sage will work best if we have a collaborator. So Sage knows how to start a story, but sometimes in the middle, he gets stuck. So he needs a collaborator with the same developmental age who understands the world in similar ways and can co-author the story. Then the third one is Seth. Seth is very shy. He knows what story he wants to say, but because of his shyness, he doesn't know how to start. That's the time when we see silence, long silence. So in this case, Seth needs a facilitator or a coach, a writing assistant who will tell him that it is time to write about the character, it is time to write about the series of events, and so on. And in this case, this type of conversational agent will work best if the agent has a checklist on how to write stories so that it can guide the child in identifying the different parts of a story to write about. And finally, we have Sadie. Sadie is also shy, and Sadie also doesn't know what story she wants to say. So in this case, Sadie will work best if the chatbot acts as a tutor or a mentor, guiding Sadie through the whole storytelling process and even giving sample text so that Sadie can mimic it. Okay, so those are the 4 persona we identified from the 44 logs that we went through, and we observe how the children are communicating with the chatbot. So we've also explored other applications of the shared storytelling agent. So we have paper explaining how we extended the storytelling agent to build or to develop the emotional intelligence of children, because the stories of children contain how they feel about the world. Then we also extended it to be a learning companion for math and for story reading. So let me quickly go through it. So for emotional intelligence of children, we extended the storytelling chatbot to follow a series of a conversational model that is adapted from the emotion coaching model of Gottman. And so Gottman said that when you talk to the child and encourages the child to share stories that expresses his or her emotion towards somebody or towards an event, you have to start introducing yourself, then you help the child label the emotion. And the emotion that you've labeled at the start of the conversation will now be the focus of the whole storytelling. So for example, the chatbot starts welcoming the child, then asks the child to share his or her day. Then from there, either the chatbot detects an emotion or the chatbot explicitly asks the child to name the emotion. And from there, the chatbot asks the child now to start sharing why, what happened. And through this story, the chatbot can help the child realize what caused the emotion, okay, and what they can do moving forward. Okay, and from this, actually, if you look at this, we have an ongoing research right now, further expanding this to turn our storytelling chatbot into a mental health chatbot that leverages stories. But that is another topic. So another type of thing we use is to teach the chatbot or turn the chatbot into a mathematics word problem solving, following the mathematical thinking process that is observed by some mathematics teacher. They're saying that to help children learn how to solve math, this is the way to develop the math word problem solving skill. So using conversations, the chatbot helps the child understand what the question is asking for, then to come up with a solution, then to check if their answer is correct by counting the objects. So this is for young children where the counting of objects can be done using small images or a number line bar or boxes, okay? Then we've also explored trying to turn our conversational storytelling agent into a language learning bot. So we try to program the storytelling chatbot so that it introduces new vocabulary, words, and grammar structure through the story text that it generates, so that the child can emulate this in the story text. So it's like when I write a story text, it's something that introduces a new word so that later on when the child uses that word in his or her own story, it's some form of manifestation that the child learned a new word, okay? And we're also doing similar things for children with autism. So in conclusion, conversational agents that portray varying roles to facilitate co-construction of stories, emotion coaching, math problem solving, joint story reading, and even those that can prepare children with autism for social situations have been, we've experimented on those things, and we've shown that these conversational storytelling agents can in fact use storytelling as their anchor for the whole conversation with children, because through storytelling, we notice that children can open up what they are feeling, what they are learning, what they are doing, and so on. So future work should enhance these learning companions to portray certain persona. So that's something to look for, to do in the future, where the conversational agent senses the type of student he or she, it's not a he or she, it's an it. So the conversational agent can detect the type of student it is dealing with, and then can adjust itself accordingly, not only in terms of content, but in the role that it portrays. Because currently there are a lot of studies already saying that the conversational agent or the large language model can adjust their content to the student. But in our case, we want it's only not the content, but also the way it behaves, or the roles that they portray depending on the needs of the student. If they need a learning companion, a teachable agent, or a facilitator, or a coach, a tutor. Okay, so basically that's it. Thank you very much. So if you have other questions, you can send me an email. This is my email. I'm from Manila, Philippines. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Eto. Insightful presentation. It makes me having a wider perception how to use storytelling by combined with AI. Wow, it has a huge impact for children. Oh, interesting. Thank you, Prof. Eto, for addressing these excellent topics. And you have another business after this? Yeah. Okay, you can leave this room for a minute and you can take at Q&A session. Thank you, Prof. Ethel. Okay. Okay, now we're moving to our next session. We'll be hearing a presentation for our fourth presenter. Okay. Good morning, Dr. Itogan.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Okay.
Let me introduce yourself first. Do you mind? Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Dr. Ilgan Yüksel, MSED, worked as a research fellow and project manager at the Open University, United Kingdom, in the School of Languages and Applied Linguistics. He received his PhD in second and foreign language education from the Florida State University in 2007, focusing on literature discussion in advanced level foreign language courses in Turkish EFL settings. His career began with teaching roles, including a lecturer position at Turkish Edol University and a teaching assistantship at Florida State University. Mr. Yüksel's early professional experiences also includes teaching English at Ataturk Elementary School in Izmir, Turkey, and his work has consistently focused on foreign language education, applied linguistics, and teacher training. Later, his career including as an associate professor at Kocaeli University before joining the Open University in 2013. Dr. Dogan Yüksel, MSED, will presenting us on integrating digital technology and artificial intelligence in English medium instruction. Okay, how do you do, Dr. Yüksel?
Yeah, thank you very much for this nice introduction.
Yeah, you have 25 minutes for us and we're waiting for you.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to thank the organizing committee for inviting me to make this presentation. As you mentioned, the topic of my presentation will be on the integration of digital technologies and artificial intelligence in English medium instruction. I'll be talking about some previous research, and then also I will be benefiting from other fields of education, and then how we can just relate it into English medium instruction. For those who may not be familiar with English medium instruction as the concept, I would like to introduce it. It's the use of English to teach academic subjects other than English itself in countries or places where the first language of the majority of the population is not English. Indonesia is also one of the EMI countries by definition, because the first language, the official language of the country is not English, and also like there are some courses, as far as I can see, in the literature, which are taught in English. So I believe that my presentation will be somehow related. Also, we can also take it at the general level, at the integration of AI in education. We see a huge increase in the number of English taught programs, EMI programs in the world. And then the previous literature mainly summarizes the drivers of EMI as follows. One of the first reasons of English taught programs is attracting a higher number of local and international students, because if a program is taught in English, then students are more willing to pay tuitions and then be a part of the program. And also most of the EMI programs in different parts of the world are regarded as more prestigious compared to other English medium instruction programs. And also we see that EMI is a factor in university rankings, and then it's just like increasing the reputation of universities in the international market. And also, it's difficult to claim in every setting, but EMI is an indicator of the quality of education, because many people believe that it's at least a perception. If we might say, many people believe that the courses in English have better quality. So because of these reasons, we see that many universities in the world, many higher education systems in the world are changing their medium of instruction and then adopting EMI. But we also observe in the literature lots of challenges about implementing EMI. Curl and colleagues organize these challenges, like group these challenges into 4 language-related challenges, institutional organizational challenges, culture and nationality-related challenges, and then the materials used in EMI, and then challenges about them. I want to base my presentation on how we can overcome these challenges with the help of, or at least some of the challenges. Of course, we cannot overcome, because some of them are policy-based, macro-level policy-based challenges. How we can tackle these challenges with the help of English taught with the help of AI, artificial intelligence, and digital technology. When it comes to the challenges in Indonesia, there are 5 factors listed by Ibrahim, which discourage the implementation of EMI. The basic one, the instructors might feel that should they be teaching their own subject, like it might be social sciences, it might be engineering, it might be medicine, or are they going to be teaching English? So that's a main problem in the minds of the instructors. And also in the case of the students, they might have to sometimes give priority either to improve their English or to focus on their content subjects. And also English opportunities are not abundant in the context where the courses are provided in EMI. So students might have trouble about how they can improve English. And then the AI tools that I will talk about partially address this. Also, they will address the first problem, how they can improve their content knowledge. There's a general lack of English proficiency among students and teachers, and then this is a common problem. We have been conducting research on EMI in various contexts, and then this is like one of the most commonly observed challenges in different parts of the world. And then the classroom communication is context reduced because it's difficult to find this authentic discussions in English about some concrete subjects, some content subjects. And also because like students may not be really familiar with the content, the classroom discourse that we would like to see in an English class may not be present in an EMI context. So there are like fewer opportunities for meaningful communication in class. I listed this as the challenges in Indonesia, but as I tried to show, these are some general challenges that we see throughout the world, but then some of them might be more marked in the Indonesian context. So how can we benefit from artificial intelligence and digital technologies in general? If we, my talk, like with the recent increase in interest on artificial intelligence, especially after the introduction of ChatGPT and then generative artificial intelligence technologies, we see that artificial intelligence tools have the potential. We all see it everywhere to provide different ways to support educators with lesson planning, marking, and then also with some daily other tasks. So this is okay. This is just like a common potential benefit, but then we see some concerns, and then that's why policymakers and education experts highlight the notion that if properly implemented, this is important, artificial intelligence can improve learning outcomes. This is like students can learn more in terms of their language development, in terms of their content knowledge, and then also this is also, in my opinion, very interesting. They can reduce staff workloads in educational settings, like preparing some content, lesson planning. The biggest issue for a university professor in many settings is the assessment, marking of the students' papers, their assignments, examinations. So this is an important benefit, but then if used properly, if the teachers are aware of how to use it, and if the students are not abusing the tools. So the previous research suggests that general AI tools such as ChatGPT, and then this is one of the reasons why probably we have AI in many presentations in the conferences, are increasingly able to produce text capable of passing some exams, which risks undermining the validity of some assessment methods. So we see that sometimes students produce text with the help of ChatGPT, and then this is a big issue for teachers to be careful about. Recently, Department for Education in the UK published a report on how we should be using generative AI in education. And then it found that early adopters of AI in education mostly held positive views of the technology. But also, as I mentioned, there are some significant concerns, and then the ethical use of AI. I will probably mention them at the end of my presentation. Will be somehow important, and then both students, teachers, the policymakers, administrators should be really careful about how AI has been integrated and used. We are talking about AI in the last 2 years, but then we can trace back its development, the evolution of artificial intelligence in education. We can trace it back several decades. So when we review the literature about it, we see that we have a rich history about the integration of technology, and then how it is implemented in the educational settings. In 1990s and in 2000s, we see that different parts, different tools of AI is being used, such as intelligent tutoring systems, adaptive learning environments, as well as supporting collaborative learning environments. So we see them in the field. We have seen them for a while, and also developments in machine learning, natural language processing, and cognitive computing. These have been all a topic. I don't know if the listeners are following the recent news, but the Nobel Prize in physics was awarded to the person who is regarded as the grandfather of artificial intelligence and machine learning, and then cognitive computing. A psychologist and computer engineer was one of the recipients of the Nobel Prize. So we see that it's really popular right now, but then we also know that this popularity is not just like a single night's development or breakthrough, but we have seen it at different levels, at least for several decades. Zowacki, Richter and colleagues prepared how AI has been incorporated in education, and a typology has been generated. According to their typology, AI has been used in profiling and prediction, in terms of admission decisions and course schedulings, in terms of dropout and retention, and then in terms of student models and academic achievement. So this is about like before we start a course, and then how we are going to recruit students, and then how we are going to just create schedulings, how we are going to prevent dropouts, retention, and then how we can increase academic achievement. So this is one aspect of it. We can also benefit from artificial intelligence in education via intelligent tutoring systems. So they can teach course content, and they can diagnose the strengths, weaknesses of the students, and then really importantly, they can provide automated feedback. They can create learning materials. They facilitate collaboration, and then they can have the potential of the teacher's feedback, and then like in the and then the style of the teacher's perspective. So this has been also commonly used, and then some tools that we use like Grammarly, even like the word processors. These are word processors. Feedback on writing is very maybe a simple way of artificial intelligence, but then Grammarly is recently providing quite context-specific automated feedback. Artificial intelligence has also been used in assessment and evaluation, about automated grading, about feedback, about understanding the learning and development, and then about the evaluation of teaching. And then this is like the most recent adaptation, adaptive systems and personalization. Like it can be helpful in teaching course content itself, not supporting it, but teaching it. It might recommend based on the level of the student, a personalized content, and then it can support teachers and learning design. It can help us with learner analytics, and then we can use academic data to monitor and guide students. And then we can create concept maps to represent knowledge that has been like acquired, learned. In my presentation, I will be specifically talking about some very commonly used models and tools, and then I'll be giving out some commercial and non-commercial software and applications. So intelligent tutoring systems, or sometimes just called as intelligent systems, refer to educational software that contains an artificial intelligence component. The software tracks students' work. It provides feedback based on the needs of the students, and also it provides some support, some hints along the way. It collects information from the student, but also it looks at other cognitive and non-cognitive variables, and then it can make some inferences about the strengths and weaknesses of the students, and then if needed, it can provide some additional work. Commonly used tutors and tools we have in the field are, for example, algebra tutor, and then it can help you without the presence of the teacher how to excel knowledge in a specific field, like e-teacher would be another one, or CircSim tutor would be just another one. So, but there are many others, and many universities have their own tutoring tools in addition to the teachers they have. At Open University also we are using some. We also have virtual language assistants because in English taught programs, language is an important component. So we can just benefit from freely available and then very common tools or apps, or we can also check like commercial ones that are present. A virtual language assistant AI is an artificial intelligence program designed to assess individuals in their language learning journey. I'm sure the listeners of this presentation have benefited from one or more of these tools, but it can be really good, especially if you'd like to have some real-time feedback, and then if you'd like to focus on your pronunciation skills, some vocabulary engagement and enrichment in some specific areas. It can help you with your speech and writing. And really interestingly, recently, we see that it can also provide some tailored feedback to improve your language journey. So like Dictation IO, Siri, which have been integrated in some cell phones recently, and then Google Assistant, Google Home, we also see them in some other models of the cell phones, and then Amazon Alexa. Recently, many people are using them in their televisions, in other media tools, and then we have the commercial language learning programs. I listed 2 or 3 here, but then many others can be incorporated, considering that English proficiency is a very big challenge in the studies of students. Then these tools can really help students to just learn English better, and then just address some of the deficiencies they might have. The last tool that I'm going to talk about is automated assessment tools. We focus on students. We have focused on students and their learning so far, but then artificial intelligence can really help teachers reduce their workload and then focus more on learning, students' learning. Automated assessment tools have been used for over 6 decades. They have a little bit more history compared to AI, and then especially for generative AI, of course, they have a good, well-established field. These tools might be categorized based on their features and capabilities. And students can just submit their assignments, and then these tools can provide immediate feedback, which which makes them a popular choice for educators. Many of these tools are accessible online, so you don't have to have a specific software, and then they support multiple languages. Most of the tools, automated assessment tools, focus on correctness and then summative assessment, which is not always what we might be referring to, but then when teacher assistants, teaching assistants are doing it, they prioritize structural correctness and formative assessment. We probably need a little bit more research to help automated assessment tools address the needs of the students in a somehow better way. In 2024, Bond prepared a review of the previous reviews on AI in education. It was a very, very comprehensive review, almost summarized the field of AI in a very succinct and accurate way. And then they list top 6 benefits of AI in education as follows. And this is a very condensed summary of the all research in AI in the field. They can provide personalized learning. They can give greater insights into students' understanding. They have positive influence on learning outcomes. It can reduce planning and administration time for teachers. This is somehow problematic, in my opinion. They provide greater equity in education, but also those who have the technology, students I'm talking about, and then those don't have, prior to starting, it might be sometimes difficult to talk about equity, but then also, as I just mentioned in the previous slide, they can provide precise assessment and feedback to the students' performance. What are the challenges in the field? What we still need, what is still needed? Ethical consideration, like how much we should allow our students to benefit from AI, especially considering the ChatGPTs and other generative AI tools, recent development in producing text for students. So it's a challenge. And many teachers are really unaware of how AI can be used in education. So a proper curriculum development is also missing. It's a challenge in the field. In terms of the technology, not all countries, not all higher education settings have a similar infrastructure. So that's a big problem. Curriculum development is not really well, but also teachers' technical knowledge is also is lacking. And then the authority is changing in the field. Like we have the teacher as the sole authority in class, but then generative AI tools are somehow changing the structure. So that's just like one issue commonly mentioned in the field. I'm trying to give a picture in the presentation, not only the bright side of AI, but also we should be considering like some gray and dark sides, and then some caveats, if I may call them, some challenges in the use of AI. There are some challenges. In addition to general concerns about bias, safety and the use of personal data. One big challenge is like that AI tools haven't been developed with younger audiences in mind and could expose learners to inappropriate content. There are some concerns about over-reliance on AI tools, which might lead to the erosion of teaching, writing, and reasoning skills, and may fundamentally change the educational experience offered to young people. Because, like, you ask a student to write a text, and then normally they have to struggle, they have to come up with some ideas, brainstorm, They should start preparing a draft and get feedback on it, and then prepare another draft. But if they ask ChatGPT to just generate a text, and then if they just submit it, then all these processes of teaching, writing, and reasoning skills will not be used, and students will not be having the experience about having the chance to improve their skills. Stakeholders have indicated that the successful implementation of AI in education will require some further evidence about how AI can be effective at delivering educational outcomes, training and guidance for educators, and how the legal frameworks can be prepared to control how AI collects and uses educator and learner data. This is a gray area because we see that most of the AI tools are also commercial tools, and then they are affiliated with big companies in the field. So how AI collects and uses educational and learner data, it's a problem. Also having access to education, and then how the digital divide that we have in education can be enhanced, or how it can be it can impact in a negative way is an issue. And then like we say that AI is decreasing the equity problems, but also we see that it's creating some new challenges in terms of access and equity in the field of education. Thank you very much for listening. This is the research group at Open University I'm affiliated with. If you have questions, please feel free to ask them. But also, if you'd like to learn more about my research, you can just check these social media tools. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Togan Yuxel. If I make an underline something.
Please.
Yeah, okay. There's some problems about AMI. We can find language-related challenges, institutional, nationality challenges, and material-related challenges. And then Mr. Togan Yuxel said that use AI in education also poses several challenges, and stakeholder can help to support the successful of implementation of AI in education. I think I just can make a 3 point, but you have a wonderful and interested topics. Okay, now let's go to the Q&A session. Prof. Ethel, Mas Dian. Okay, Prof. Ethel, are you there? Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Prof. Ethel. In the chat room, we find, oh, okay, 3 questions, one for Prof. Ethel and 2 for Mr. Togan Yuxel. From Prof. Ethel first, okay, from Mrs. Patmidi Yuli Ukris. Thank you for the inspiring presentation, Prof. I want to know more about how does the collaborative storytelling agent adapt to the individual needs and preferences of the children during the storytelling process?
Okay, thank you for that question. So the adaptability should depend on what it detects from the child. So what it can detect can come from multiple levels. So for example, at the basic level, at the interaction level, a silent child, for example, can be treated as someone who needs help. So that can be Sadie. And then a child who just talks and shares his whole story in one utterance, that can be Sam. So that is the basic, that's the basic way of detecting what kind of child it is based on how expressive he or she is with regards to the story. And then other ways, for example, in computer science, we have researchers here who look who look into, for example, the facial expression, the gait, if they're interested, if they seem lost. Those can also be other means to complement what the child is, or to supplement the child's language aggressiveness. So it can be at different levels.
Okay, so we can see how the expression of the children during the storytelling process. Okay, right. Okay, thank you, Prof. Ethel. Now the question for Mr. Dogan from Ibu Siti Patona. Yeah, Mrs. Siti Patona for Mr. Dogan. What are the key benefits of incorporating digital technologies and AI into English medium instruction as discussed in the presentation?
Like
The first question.
yeah, we have some problems about, like, for example, students' English proficiency, their preparedness for the EMI programs, and then language support tools can be really helpful. We usually complain that the university professors have so much workload in their teaching, so automated assessment tools can be really helpful. Also, in terms of managing the EMI classes or all content in higher education, like some AI tools, like such as preparing the course schedules, like preparing course content, lesson plans. So these are just like the fields that AI tools can support in any field of education. But because we believe that EMI students have hard time understanding the content subject and also tackling with language issues at the same time. So especially those tools can be useful for the students to support their own learning.
Okay, I see. Okay, thank you, Mr. Dogan. And now from, I don't know, Miss or Mr. Bintang Avatara. I have question for Mr. Dogan. Can you provide example of specific digital technologies and AI-powered application that enhance personalized learning experiences in IMAI?
Different universities are using different tutoring systems, like integrated into their blackboards. Like Open University, we have our own system, and students are provided with those tools free of charge when they are enrolled. So like Algebra Tutor is the one that I gave example, but there's also the e-teacher, some commercial ones. But then like recently we see that like in our university right now, they benefit from the videos, older videos of the professors, and then there is a database available, and then students ask a question, and then there's a video. The teacher is talking, but in fact the teacher is not talking. It's just an older video, but teacher is just saying, giving the answer based on the database generated from there. So like these are more personalized because the student asks a specific question about this topic, and the teacher is not present. Maybe teacher is just outside doing something else, but then he or she can watch teacher answering the question. So like lots of personalized tools are available, are present. Some of them are commercial, so they would require a subscription fee. But then some of them are just free of charge, or at least the demo simple versions are available. So depending on the subject, depending on the topic, depending on the specific university context, there are lots of tools available.
So it depends on the topic, and we can choose which part of EA we can use.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Prof. Ethel
Yeah.
and Mr. Dogan. You get inspiring discussion. We learn a lot from you, and we wish someday you can come to UPKRIS, University of PGRI Semarang, and make a discussion more for with us. We need to learn more from you. Okay, I think that's all, and thank you for thank you for Dr. Dogan Yüksel from Open
Thank you
University, the United Kingdom. Yeah, Professor Ethel Ong from De La Salle University, Manila, Philippines. Professor Dr. Ahmad Bukhari, MPD, from Universitas PGRI Semarang, and Dr. Rahul Bandari from Jindal Global University, India. Okay, we meet. Okay, yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure for us. Okay, see you again at the
Thank you very much.
at the next meeting conferences. Okay, thank you, and you can take your times. Now we're going to the panel discussion. Yeah, you can stay here if you have more time. And dear participant, okay, now before we move to the plenary session, please make sure you to rename your Zoom ID for 15 minutes. Again, we'll make a breakout room, and all attendees can select and enter breakout room. Okay, from abstract number 1 to 8, you can choose the breakout room 1. Room 2 from abstract 9 till 16. Breakout room 3 from abstract 17 to 24. Breakout room 4 for abstracts 25 to until 32. And room 5, abstract 33 until 40, abstract 41 till 48, and abstract 49 till 56, and breakout room 8, 56 until, okay, 65. Okay, yeah. In all room, there were a team will lead the discussion. There are Dr. Mukhlis MPD, Dr. Sigit Ristanto MSc, Miss Antika Fani Prastikawati MPD, me Desi Maulia, Mr. Ibnu Fatku Rohaya MPD, Dr. Sutrisno MPD, Dr. Muhtarum MPD, and Mrs. Agnita Siska Pramasdyasari MSc. Okay, please please rename your Zoom ID so we can help you to enter your breakout room. Bu Agnita, time is yours, and thank you for having us at Icesre 7.
Okay, thank you, Bu Desi. Okay, for delivering the second plenary for the Icesre 2024. Now we are entering the parallel session that has already explained by Bu Desi. Your room, please rename your identity by using the name of your room underscore abstract number and your name. So the administration section will be easily to admit you. All right. Sudah. So for all the participants who are already joined in this conference, can join to each room that you are thinking related to your topic or interesting for you. You can just join to the room for listening or just having an overview about the topic. All right. Okay, while waiting for the IT section to assign Bapak Ibu to your room session for parallel, I would like to remind you again about rename the room underscore abstract number and your complete name to make the IT section easily assign you to the right room. And then for the rule, in the moderator room will be moderating your session where its room will be occupied around 6 until 9 presenters, and then each presenter will have 5 to 10 minutes to present the paper. After that, following the question and answer session.
Yeah.
Okay. The IT section will assign us sooner. Again, represent all the committee of Icesre 2024. I would like to say our gratitude to all the participants and presenters who have already joined and making the Icesre successful. Now it's time for all the presenter to join the room, and then the participant also could join to attending the presentation. Mas Dian already? Okay. Okay, everyone can join to the room that has already signed.
Wait, wait. Taruhkan di ini dulu. Aku kan dipikir dulu sebentar ya. Yes.